Hey everyone, like I had said on my video with the framing, I started building this and I completely forgot to do updates, so I'm going to catch you up from where I am right now. I have everything in certain order, so you can still see from the beginning to the end where this is. So here's how I have this all set up. This whole board is actually going to be a lift out section, so that way I can build this here, wire everything up, and then basically just take this into the new layout, drop it in, and hook up the power to it, and it's ready to go. So here's how I did everything. The first thing I did was I went around and I traced out where exactly everything will be. And because these kits have the pits, I ended up putting that in. Well, what I ended up doing was, because of this, because it's plywood, I ended up taking a router and routering out each of the pits. And then at the end, I drilled out a hole for the track power. My mistake, I actually need to put the track power holes back here instead. So, little mishap, but not a big deal. Then the next step was I glued all of the base together. So from this point all the way over to that point are all connected. Then once all of those were in place and the router, pits worked, what I did was, hold on, Chessie, down. Sorry about that. What I ended up doing then was cutting out the hole for the turntable. So that's the 130-foot modern turntable by Walthers. So that's going to be hooked up. I apologize about my cat. But so what's going to happen is I'm going to have a line coming in here that's going to feed into the roundhouse, and have another one coming off into a separate workshop, and that's where the Milwaukee Road 261 is going to be located. So those are going to be the only two tracks coming out of there. I'm going to have a little parking lot over here, but for the most part, this is going to be a functioning roundhouse. What I'm going to do is basically every single track is going to get powered. You can see right in there, excuse my finger, it's kind of big, but I cut out little notches for each of the power supplies to go down. And so then that way they will then go straight through, where I can wire it all up together and basically have everything powered. The other thing I'm going to do, like I said, I still have those to go, but on the inside of here, what I'm going to end up doing is putting some lights, so that way the entire thing gets lit up. Each stall will have 2 lights, so this entire thing will take 60 lights all the way around. I'm thinking about putting one on that row and then one right up front there, so that way it lights it up. Or that's what I'm going for. I don't know exactly how I'm going to light it up, but I know I need to have at least one up here and one on the lower level. But that's how I have this all laid out. So from there, the process that I have, once I had all the bases in, I then went around and I glued every one of these supports in. With the exception of these 3, I had to wait for another kit to come in. But then from there, what I ended up doing was each of these, I needed to match up with what I had right there. So what I did, and you can see all of them are done all along here. They're all sitting up here drying. What I did was I made a white wash. And all that I'm using is just a Delta acrylic and some water. And I can you know, all I do is I just mix it together, put it on, and then with the paper towel, just wipe it off. And that'll make it so that the mortar sits in. So that's all that I do for that. I have 3 more of those that I have to do. But after that, then what I do is I take a piece of tape, put it along the edge, and paint the foundation wall. I found that if you do the painter's tape, it's a lot easier because you can just slap it on, make sure that it's firm against there, and then just take a brush and just lather it on. You don't have to, you know, take your tedious time and make sure that you don't get on the brick, and you get a nice straight line. So from there, the next step for these will be the windows, and once the windows are in, then each section will go up and all the way around, and then from there the track work will be installed. So that's all that I have right now. I will shoot another video as I get a little bit further along. You know, since this is Memorial Day weekend, the wife and baby are on their way to Virginia right now, so I have the weekend to myself to do house projects and work on this. So I will try and post a couple more videos this weekend. So I hope you guys like this.